I remember when I came to the United States, maybe around 5, I came around 4, but maybe around 5, 6 years old, my dad would go to church in Far Rockaway. And I remember going to service with him and seeing the car wash sign, and I knew that I was close to church. It was about a 45-minute ride. And I loved going there. There was something special about it. I can't say it was a message. I was too young to understand what the message was all about, but just being with the saints, being with this group of people was just so fun, so exciting to me. There's one girl that I fell in love with from when I was young, and to this day we're still best friends. So I met a lot of friends, and down through the years more people came, the church expanded, and the pastor at the time had made a school, had built a school, the Church of God Christian Academy. And I entered it around, I think I was 11 going into 12 years old. So from that point on, we all were together. I mean, we had church Monday, Tuesdays, Wednesdays. Thursday was choir rehearsal. Friday was probably only rest day. Saturdays, you know, if you clean up the church, you had to be there on Saturday. So we were always together, and we got on each other's nerves, but it was fun. It was really, really a lot of fun. We fought, you know, we had issues growing up, some girl stuff and boy stuff, girl liking boys. We went through all of that. We were teenagers, that was natural. So we did have issues and we did butt heads, but there was a genuine love to this day that we still have. I can call him and it's like we went back yesterday. I mean, it's just that much love that we have to this day, which I'm grateful for. Out of high school, out of the Church of God Christian Academy, I decided to go to college, but I didn't finish college. I only went one semester. I was feeling so burnt out from doing school, and it wasn't attracting me. It wasn't getting my attention. So from there, I started to work at the Church of God nursery school, and I did that for a little bit. I got saved when I was 29. I remember, and that is really special to me, because I remember as a teenager, or probably maybe younger, I remember saying that I did not want to be in my 30s unsaved. And I knew that God was dealing with me 28, or I was 29, I was 28, 29 when I got pregnant with my daughter, Tamaya. And I felt God dealing with me. It wasn't a church message, it wasn't anything, but it's strange because it felt like His wrath was upon me. I know that sounds, but I just felt that. I just sensed like a certain wrath, and I couldn't understand, like, why? What's going on? And the enemy was there too, working on my mind, playing with my mind. My husband at the time had just gotten a job to move to Georgia, and I was again pregnant in my mom's house. He's in Georgia. We're in the middle of transitioning. And I'm in that room by myself. And the devil started telling me, God doesn't want me. God doesn't want you. He didn't want you. And I remember getting up so fearful, so afraid. And I got up and I was on the top of the stairs. And it was just so strong, a presence to just push myself down the stairs, because there was no reason for me to live. God didn't want me. I just felt no reason to live. There was no way out for me. And just before I decided to do that, I felt something warm and calm and said, don't do it. And I didn't, and that presence was there with me. That calm, warm presence was there, and I knew that was God. It wasn't just a presence, it was God dealing with me, and He had mercy on me that day. But since then, I knew God was dealing with me, and I knew that I could not leave Georgia unsaved. The Sunday before we left, they were having a baptism service in New York, and I knew about it. And I knew that I was going to get saved. Nobody else knew about it, but I knew about it. So I brought extra undergarments. I brought extra clothes to bring with me. And the message was going on. Our pastor, Brother Brown, at the time was up there exhorting, and they were doing a baptism service. And I knew I had to make that step. I was scared, very scared. I was nervous, my heart was beating, and I had to wonder, I'm like, do I really want to do this? But I felt like if I didn't do it, I may not have this chance again. And I took that courage one step at a time and made myself, and this is a long church. I mean, the aisles were so long, but I made myself to the front. I remember the saints, hearing them rejoicing, whatever. But I was just so nervous. I was so scared. And Sister Brown came, sat next to me, and try to, be there for support for me. And I went up to get baptized. So many people talk about this awesome feeling when they get saved, and for some reason I didn't experience that awesome feeling. But one thing I could remember when I got up from that baptism service and I got out of that water, the thought that came to my mind was, heaven is rejoicing. And that's all I could remember. And I remember walking down that aisle, coming back down, the saints were trying to cover me up. And I could just remember, heaven is rejoicing, heaven is rejoicing. And I was just so happy. That was a life-changing moment for me. Never, ever regret making the choice to serve God, never. Now, I remember I had said that I remember when I was younger that I didn't want to be in my 30s unsaved. Years down, I remember that conversation or that thought. And I believe that that wrath that I was feeling at the time was God dealing with me, because He knew the time is going. You're going to hit 30 and you're going to be unsaved. And at the time, I was a good girl. I didn't feel like I needed to be saved. I wanted to be saved. It's not something that I didn't want. It's just I didn't feel like the need. I'll go parties, I'll go clubs and stuff, but after I got married, I pretty much put that away. So that pressure, or these situations where a lot of people feel like they can't, they've done all that they could do, now they have nowhere to turn to but God, that wasn't me. And I didn't want that for myself. I didn't want that. So there was just certain things I did not do because I didn't want that lifestyle. I didn't want to find myself in a place where I'm strung out on drugs or have all these situations and I can't come to God. So I didn't do those things, but that wasn't enough. I was still a sinner. I needed to be saved. I needed God in my life, and He knew that. And I just thank God for His mercy and reaching out for me and wanting me and dealing with me to get me to where I am today. Now there were times, especially in the academy, where we would have assembly on Wednesdays, and we would come together and they would encourage us to be saved. And there were times we did go up. And I not to say that we weren't genuine about it, but we did it a lot of times because we're following other people. So to say if I had an experience, I can't really genuinely say yes. I believe I was honest in doing what I did, but you're just following your friends and not really doing it for yourself. I definitely think that a lot of people influence other people, and especially when you're young, you tend to follow the group, follow, the majority. But just because the majority is doing it doesn't mean the majority is right. This became an individual. This became personal because God was dealing with me. And I could not look at anybody else because I knew that at the day of judgment, it was just going to be me and God. Friends at that time did not matter. Didn't matter what this person's opinion was or that. And there was so much going on at the time. There were so many reasons not to get saved. But I knew that I had to face God Himself. So when I got to that crossroad in my life, it was either I make a left or I make a right. And I decided to choose God. And I'm so glad I did. Like me at that time, there are definite reasons why. You can come up with so many reasons, valid, good reasons why. Not so much that you don't want to be saved. What I'm finding is that a lot of are claiming to be saved, a lot are claiming to have God in their lives, but you know yourself more than anybody else, and you know the truth. You can't deviate from truth. And my advice to these individuals, these souls that are looking and wanting God from a genuine heart, that you can't do it. There's no excuse. Forget what other people are doing. Forget what other people are saying, and think about what your relationship, what are you going to tell God? What would be your excuse at that day, at the day of judgment? There'll be nothing. What can you say? He's laid out everything that we could possibly desire, we could possibly want. He's laid it out. We have no excuse. So whatever you can do now, I would definitely encourage others to do the same. And come and be honest with yourself and be honest with God. If God did it for me, He can do it for anybody. And I know that may sound cheesy, that may sound, so lame, but it's a fact, because I had a mindset that I didn't need God at that time. I had a mindset that I was good, or it's not that I didn't want to be saved. I wanted God now. I believed in God. I had the uttermost respect for God. I had, I was doing good. I was doing good, and then the enemy came in, started playing with my mind, made me suicidal, but if God did it for me, there is no reason why He can't do it for you. He can do it for you. So I definitely encourage you to try it. Just give Him a chance, and you'll be surprised what God can do. He is amazing, and He loves us, and He loves you. And if you give Him not just religion, not just doing what's good, I've been there, done that. Give Him yourself, and you'll be amazed at what God can do.